take these away from me.
Okay.
Urgently.
Urgently, take the cheesels.
I'm going to eat them all.
Okay. They're so Moorish.
They're just so tasty.
It's so tasty.
They're probably my favourite, like, chip thing. Out of all the chip-type snacks. Cheezels.
Yeah, ASMR for you. Cheesel ASMR.
You're having a Monster.
I am.
Wow. I thought you were going to have a Coke.
I bought the Coke for you. She didn't want it, so...
You brought the Coke for me.
Yes.
I don't have Coke. It makes me sick, remember?
Oh, no?
Yeah.
Oh. Must have slipped my mind. So, welcome back to part 3 of H.H. Holmes.
Thank you.
Son of a bitch. A downright dirty scoundrel. This is basically the final part because I'm sick of talking about this cunt. He's a fucking twat.
Insane.
He is a bit nuts.
Just one of the most...
But don't worry, he does get caught eventually. And he gets what's coming to him.
Okay.
But first, I'd like to update you on my life.
Okay.
My aunt died.
I'm sorry.
My auntie died. She had motor neuron disease. It's pretty fucked, actually. It's a bit of a shock when she got it. She got it about 12 months ago.
Wow.
And yeah,
That's not long.
gone within a year. So very sad, poor love.
I'm sorry.
She was a lovely lady. Rest in peace, Jano. The really shitty thing is that it sort of runs in the family. And her mum died really young. And it's apparently passed down through the women, the gene.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And by then, she'd already had 2 children. One of them was a girl, my cousin. My cousin went and got tested. She's got the gene.
Really?
Yeah.
So she's
So
almost guaranteed
she's got
to get it?
I think it's like a 50-50 chance
If
of
it
it
gets
developing.
activated or not.
Yes, correct. And she's got 2 kids too.
How can you prevent activation of that, like a gene like that, I wonder? I mean,
I think they're
environment.
still trying to figure it out, you know. My auntie did a clinical trial to try and slow it down. I think it worked a little bit. She had to travel every week to go and get a spinal like a lumbar puncture in Sydney to get do this clinical trial, and they would mix it and then inject it into her spine again.
Might as well fucking move to Sydney at that point. Oh my gosh, I know a lot of people move for treatment, but if you are not guaranteed a cure, then yeah, that's...
Yeah, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
That would be so too tough, yeah.
But she just, I don't think she even got unwell. She just died in her sleep, which...
Really?
Surrounded by a family, which really, if you're going to go, that's the way I'd want to go.
Like as in she didn't...
I think, she was having trouble with her oxygen the night before, and they put her on, I'm assuming, a CPAP. She did have nasal prongs and she was looking very pale.
Low
and
blood pressure.
listless. And then they put her on the CPAP and she perked up and actually had, you know, what they call like the last hurrah.
Yes,
where
I
they
was
were
just
like
about to say.
very animated, looking really well, talking to everyone, having a nice little time with the family, and then she died in her sleep at in 8:30 in the morning. I think they found her just deceased. So yeah, very sad.
Yeah, I guess she sounds like she started going downhill the day before.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was the process had
Sleeping all the
started
time.
of dying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like she's in a wheelchair, can sort of still talk, still eat. Like
Yeah.
For
That
me,
seems really rapid.
yes, it felt rapid. So I'm wondering whether she caught something. I'm wondering if she did catch a virus or something that just took her out.
Respiratory
in the end. Yes.
related.
Yep.
I would not be surprised. She's
I wouldn't be
probably
surprised either.
immunocompromised, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, poor
I'm sorry,
Jano.
dude.
Thanks.
I wish you told me because I would have been there for you at the time, you know.
It just happened like 2 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think I'm just in a little bit of shock.
No,
Doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
You know, it'll feel real at the funeral. Oh, she was a lovely lady. She was there through my entire childhood, married to my uncle, my mum's brother. Anyway, just wanted to honour her, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, honour her life a little bit. Anyway.
Aunties are the best, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're pretty good.
The best memories with my auntie ever that, you know, as a child that I don't have with anyone else.
Yep. Yeah.
Because they're just different in a way. You know?
Jane Spencer was her name. And she was actually a really beautiful artist.
Yeah?
She painted so beautifully.
I wonder if that's where your brother gets his talent from.
Possibly. Except she's not blood related to any of this. She married into the family.
Oh, you just said that. Sorry.
Yeah. That's all right.
Whoopsie.
But she was fucking fantastic. She used to sell them too. Like,
that was her thing.
yeah, I might post some artwork
I
up
wanna
onto
see.
the Instagram just to honour her a little bit because it's my fucking Instagram. I'll do what I want.
It's my Instagram.
I'll do what I want to. Post if I want to. Anyway, let's transition in, like, there's no good segue into talking about a fucking murderer after you talk about your
Not
beautiful
this
auntie.
guy, no.
But anyway, we are going to talk about the capture of H.H. Holmes. So
Hell
there's some,
yeah.
you know, semblance of
good
positivity
comes from this.
going on here. So the detectives are hot on his trail, obviously, because of the insurance fraud they're figuring out. And staying in Canada would have been the smart choice because, you know, you're not in the same country anymore.
Yeah.
But after murdering the remaining Pitezel children, Holmes took Georgina to New York, where Carrie was now waiting because he had, you know, redirected her from Montreal to fucking New York, of course.
So we still have 2 children alive.
Yes, and they're with Carrie.
2.
Yep. Okay. So Carrie was waiting with her remaining children, Desi, 16, and Wharton, a baby. Horrible name, Wharton. Don't really love it. Anyway,
Wharton baby.
Wharton. Anyway, she's waiting in New York to fucking finally meet up with her husband. And when they arrived, he was like, oh, psych. Psych. He's now in Burlington, Vermont for some reason, you know? Because of course.
I'm sorry, hasn't she caught on yet?
I mean, maybe. Like,
She's just hopeful.
yeah. What else can she do? She's just a woman in the 1800s with 2 children. Like,
That's nothing.
yeah. Holmes at this point wrote to his brother in Wilmington because he knows that there's a lot of heat on him and then people are on his trail to, like, catch him, right?
Yeah.
And he said, so he hasn't spoken to his family, his parents or his brother since he left Carrie, his first wife. What's her name?
Eugenia.
No, the first one.
I don't remember.
Oh, Clara. My bad.
Clara.
Yeah, there we go. So he wrote to them randomly out of nowhere after not seeing them for years upon years. And he was like, oh, sorry. Sorry you haven't heard from me. It's the fucking darndest thing. I got into a train wreck.
You wouldn't believe.
You wouldn't believe this. I was in a train wreck. And because of the accident, I had amnesia. And I didn't actually fucking remember you at all. Isn't that crazy? But now I remember all of a sudden. I'm magically healed.
Yeah, the amnesia fixed itself.
Yeah.
And they'll just lap it up.
Yeah.
But hopefully they had doubts.
Yeah, so he wrote to them and said he's going to come visit. He then took $1,000 from Georginia's estate, told her a lie about where he was going because clearly she doesn't know he's got a fucking first wife and a second wife. So I'm going to go back to visit my first wife. So then he travelled back and left Georgina in New York. I feel like his plan was like, I'm going to go back and return to being Herman Webster Mudgett and then no one will know.
That was the worst name I think he's ever had.
Horrid.
That was his worst.
Don't blame him for changing it.
Chosen name, buddies.
Yeah. Anyway, he told them he wanted to return to his life as Herman Webster Mudgett. He told them that. But, like, he stayed there for 2 days and then abandoned that plan and left for Boston. He sent a telegram to Georgina and was like, hey, come meet me in Boston. Checked into a boarding house. Little did they know that Detective Gary Pinkerton was tailing him all around the country. On November 17th, 1894, Holmes left the boarding house to go for a morning walk when he was suddenly surrounded by cops and Pinkerton, and they took him in. They arrested him with the only warrant that they had, which was horse thievery.
Oh,
I think they were in the state of the horse thief warrant. So whilst in custody, he confessed to the insurance fraud for some reason and said that the body was not Ben, but already a dead corpse. So it's insurance fraud, but it's not murder, you know?
Yeah, you didn't kill anyone.
Yeah, correct. They didn't believe him and charged him with Ben Pitezel's murder. So now he's really on the shit.
Good.
Yeah, good. Pinkerton agents then arrested Carrie Pitezel because she was involved in the insurance scam, and she was scared and denied any involvement in the scheme. This is where detectives told her of her husband's death. That's how she discovered that he was truly dead. The lawyer... yeah, I know.
God.
Poor
and then
thing.
she's going to realise that she's been running around after him while
you
he was
would immediately
dead.
fear for the welfare of your kids. She doesn't know they're dead yet.
She doesn't know about the kids yet.
No, she thinks they're being minded by Minnie. The lawyer, H.H Holmes, was also arrested and charged with fraud. The following day, they were extradited to Philadelphia to stand trial. Now, the question became, where the fuck are the missing Pitezel children? Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Carrie's like,
In
okay,
the
my husband's
basement.
dead. Where the fuck are my kids? Like, this story was hot in the press, and soon a bunch of people in Chicago came forward about all the schemes he swindled in Chicago. Like, that's why he left. As well as all the women that he'd married and missing women. Like, there was lots of rumours, and they all came out because it was in the press. Eventually, enough stories came forward to conclude that Minnie and Nanny Williams were missing.
Towns and cities back then are small. It's a small world in a sense. Everyone, I'm sure, knows everyone and talks to everyone about
talks.
everyone.
So they came to the conclusion, after talking to each other, that Minnie and Nanny Williams, you know, they disappeared suspiciously.
They went
and they haven't
fucking
seen them
alive.
since, and Holmes had something to do with it. So Holmes spent the winter of 1895 in jail while detectives tried to figure out where the missing Pitezel children were by retracing Holmes's steps, with Holmes being absolutely no help. He was like, I'm not telling you anything. They eventually found amongst his things a tin containing the letters from the children to their mother. They retraced his steps based on the details in these letters. They followed the trail to Toronto, where they discovered the rental home he leased briefly. They eventually ended up at the house, where the two girls were buried in the basement. It didn't take long to discover the girls 1 foot down in the basement. At the time, there was like an old couple living there, and they were like, oh, that's why there's like freshly dug up earth in the basement.
And lots of
like disturbed
nicely
earth
growing flowers.
in the basement with no sun. Fucking hell. So they began to dig. The bodies were badly decomposed, but could be positively identified. The remains of Howard Pitezel were never discovered. Holmes had to be extradited to Toronto to be charged with the children's murder. Newspapers went wild around the country, and people started searching in Chicago for Minnie and Nanny Williams in the half-burned down Chicago murder house. They found human remains in an old stove in the basement and a watch chain formerly owned by Minnie Williams. So they
this stove
assumed it was them.
This stove must have been an oven stove.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a big fucking potbelly or whatever. Julia and Pearl Connor's murders were also eventually linked to Holmes, as well as the murder of Emmeline Segrand. Remember the lady with the child Pearl who got murdered during her abortion or whatever? And Emmeline Segrand, who got put in the fucking vault and tried to kick her way out. He was indicted in 1895 for Ben Pitezel's murder. He pled not guilty because he wanted a trial. He wanted to make a big spectacle. While he was in jail, he wrote an autobiography called Holmes's Own Story while he waited for trial, which was a very embellished chronological story of his life containing half-truths and many, many lies. It's like he was almost trying to spin a tale for the trial. You know what I mean? The trial began October 28th, 1895, and apparently his legal representation were really shit and out of their depth. Holmes basically decided to act as his own attorney, and they just sat in the back and watched.
All these fucking serial killers.
They love to represent themselves, don't they?
do.
They're like, no, I'm the only one that can keep track of my lies. So
Yeah,
let me do it.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's exactly why. Anyway, that failed miserably. Carrie testified against him, as well as the oldest child, Desi. She was a very powerful witness for the prosecution, and he was found guilty. And it was said that the jury reached their decision almost immediately.
It's interesting that they
is
listened.
everyone in the room? Good. He's guilty. Yep.
They listened to and believed these women too, which is nice.
Yeah. There's just too many eyewitness stories of him being a shifty cunt.
Perfect lining up.
Yes. Apparently Holmes was shocked to be found guilty. He was sentenced to execution by hanging. Period.
Who would have known I was
You
guilty?
are sentenced to hang by the neck until dead.
Wow.
They did appeal, obviously, but it failed miserably. He was set to be executed on May 7th, 1896. Whilst waiting to die, he confessed to a lot more murders. 28 to be exact.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But he also spun a lot of shit, so there were a lot of untrue stories and rumours floating about. He was paid $7,500 for his confessions, apparently. What is he going to do with that in jail? Waiting to die.
Well, you can buy cigarettes, drugs, food.
Oh, yeah, the commissary.
Alcohol, yeah.
True.
And the commissary, just...
Yeah. True.
Shit like that, 2-minute noodles.
Did they have that in the 1800s? I don't know.
Oh, actually, that is a very good question.
I don't know.
But I'm sure he could use it somehow to, like, make deals with other prisoners, right?
True. On the morning of May 2nd, 1896, he was taken from his cell and was led to the gallows. When asked if he had anything to say, he said,
No.
Gentlemen... No, he said a lot.
Sorry.
He said a lot.
Yeah.
It's funny because he was like, I've got nothing to say, but then he said a shit ton. Anyway.
Oh, I love doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, no, I've got nothing to say.
And here's the reason why.
And then you can't fucking shut up.
He goes, Gentlemen, I've very few words to say. In fact, I would make no statement at this time, except that by not speaking, I would appear to acquiesce in life and my execution. I only want to say that the extent of my wrongdoings in taking human life consisted in the deaths of 2 women only, they having died at my hands of criminal operations. I wish to also state, however, so that there be no misunderstanding hereafter, I am not guilty of taking the life of any of the Pitezel family, of whose death I am now convicted for, and which I am today to be hanged.
So
that
he
is all.
confessed, but he's not guilty.
Yep.
Makes sense.
He was like, I only killed 2 women. Come on, guys, it's only 2 women. Do I really need to die? I didn't kill Ben Pitezel or his kids. Anyway.
What about the 28 in total, though? That
Yeah,
you confessed
I
to?
know.
He's a psycho.
He's a psycho. Anyway, the lever was pulled at 10:12 p.m. The drop was supposed to break his neck, but it didn't. He died struggling for about 15 minutes.
Wow. So they didn't even redo it.
Love it.
They didn't bring him back up and do it again.
Nah,
they just let him hang and suffocate to death rather than breaking his neck instantly.
Yeah.
Well, that's not very humane, but neither was he. So, haha, bye-bye.
It's 1800s.
Yeah.
I don't think they even did that. Like,
No, they didn't.
if they
care
didn't
about
break,
that
oh,
shit.
you're fucked. Just
Still a
die by
Brit.
strangle.
Yeah.
They put him in a coffin and buried him under cement at his request because he didn't want anyone desecrating his grave.
Oh.
Holmes died without a will in place. A few years after his execution, Georgina just remarried and lived happily ever after. Myrta went on to be a principal of 33 schools, and her daughter Lucy followed in her mother's footsteps, and they both later became Red Cross volunteers in the First World War. Clara lived out the rest of her life in Tilton, and her son Robert went on to be city manager of Orlando, Florida, until his death in 1956. In August of 1896, the rest of the murder castle mysteriously burnt down, and a post office was built in his place, and I wonder if it's haunted. I wish it hadn't burnt down. That would have been so cool to visit.
Yes.
Would have been so cool. Surely it's haunted. Surely. Now, there were a lot of conspiracy theories that Holmes may have faked his death. Like I said, he had requested to be buried in concrete, claiming that he was afraid that someone would dig him up and dissect him, just like he dissected his victims.
Why are you afraid, though? You're dead already.
I know. Why do you give a fuck? So full of himself. He's like,
Yeah.
even in death, I want
He's
to be
so
perfect.
narcissistic.
Yes.
Even after he dies, he doesn't want his perfect body touched.
Yep. Anyway, the request was granted for some fucking reason, which led a lot of people to wonder if he maybe requested this so that he could escape and his body could never be attempted to be dug up because of the cement. People believed that Holmes had bribed the guards at the prison to use a cadaver instead of him from the hanging, allowing him to flee to South America. I'm not sure why South America, but that's the conspiracy theory. And this was helped right along by the fact that in 1898, Robert Latimer, the janitor from the murder house, had claimed he had seen letters proving that Holmes conned his lawyer, priest and jail officials into buying another dead man instead of Holmes.
He had a janitor?
Yeah, it's a castle. It's a fucking castle. He's not going to clean it.
Okay.
But the janitor never produced these letters, and the story that he told about Holmes escaping to Paraguay had a lot of things wrong with it. But like all conspiracies, it still got attention and led to speculation that he was holed up somewhere in South America. So in 2016, Holmes's great-grandchildren, John Richard and Cynthia Mudgett, petitioned the court to exhume his body to conduct a DNA test so they could determine if it was him or not. How fascinating. In 2016. And when did he die? 1896, 2016. How many years is that? 100 and something?
Did you say 2006?
16.
Oh, so 120 years.
120 years later. They exhumed his body.
That's weird.
It's crazy, right?
Oh, wow.
It just makes it so real because it just seems like a fucking fairy tale, like he never existed. Like it's just a big made-up story. But he fucking existed. He did all this shit. So in 2016, they got together and they decided to exhume his body. So on March 9th, 2017, the Delaware County Court granted permission to exhume Holmes's body. His casket had been buried for 121 years. There you go. Deep in the ground, it was covered by 21,000 pounds of cement.
What?
That's so much. Why? And so deep, if that's the case. There was also fear that something like tuberculosis could be trapped inside of the coffin, so there was a lot of planning that went into exhuming the body, and they had to be extremely careful. They began digging and eventually got down to the coffin when they were about 6 feet underground. Okay, so it's 6 feet. So they could see the wooden coffin. And then it took 3 whole days to actually take out the coffin. So finally, they were able to get it out, and they had to saw it open and to finally look inside to identify him. But when they opened it, the coffin was empty. It was empty, guys. Oh, but wait, this obviously was a shock to many. The lead doctor that was kind of like heading up all of this, Dr. Samantha Cox, was like, oh my gosh. So this led to a ton of meetings and conversations on what do they do now. Like, the whole point was to prove that whoever was buried was him, and now there's not even someone buried. At that point, they started suspecting that this possibly was a decoy coffin. So they used
this.
It's crazy. This fucking guy.
Cunt.
This guy. Oh, don't worry, he is dead. I mean, it's 121 years later.
No words.
He's definitely dead.
Yeah, but he could have lived free.
He didn't.
Or did live free. Oh,
He didn't.
good.
They started suspecting it was a decoy.
Fuck.
So they used a sounding probe and eventually discovered that 4 inches below that, something else was buried. It was a decoy coffin. From this point, they literally used hand tools and just their own hands to chisel away at this giant concrete container, using sponges to mop up the groundwater that was seeping in. And as they kept going, they finally saw the words Mudgett. Mudgett and then H.H. Holmes written in black wax pencil on a wooden board sitting over the concrete.
And it was still there.
Yeah.
The wax.
Yeah. So they finally determined that this was the coffin, and they carefully started to crack it open. They even inserted a tiny camera into the coffin. It was described as one that's used in the medical field, so I'm assuming like an endoscope or a fibre optic.
Yeah.
And so they used that to look into the coffin to determine exactly where the body was so that they wouldn't damage it. 12 hours later, they were finally able to see resting in the coffin the remains of H.H. Holmes. And something kind of funny, he wasn't wearing any pants. The archaeologists believe that possibly he soiled himself during his hanging, so they just took his pants off before burying him. Not sure why they even bothered, so just chuck him in the coffin.
Yeah, like, wouldn't that be even more demeaning if you left him with shit in his pants?
Yeah.
Yeah. You would think they'd do something like that back then, right?
Mm-hmm. They end up having to actually drill into his skull to extract any DNA to test, and they had to send it to a UK lab for testing. Like, there wasn't anywhere in the US that did that type of DNA testing. They were able to match dental records from the time Holmes was alive to the skull that they had extracted.
Wow.
So 1800s dental records. That's crazy. Nearly all of the molars were missing, and that was consistent with those dental records. So Samantha Cox, who was kind of the head of the whole exhumation and testing and everything, said, quote, "The best we can say at the end is that this skeleton is a relation to the Mudgett family." So they could never actually say it was H.H. Holmes because they didn't have his DNA to compare it with. You know what I mean?
But he's genetically related, whoever's lying in that.
He has similar alleles
container.
to the Mudgett family.
Would they have done it with mitochondrial DNA at all?
Maybe they couldn't get any from the skull. Not sure. Or maybe that's what they used. But
because that's how I thought that's how they link ancestrally, is using mitochondrial DNA, which only is in women. Which only is passed down through through females.
Well, then he's a man, so they wouldn't be able to use it.
No. Men do have mitochondrial DNA, but they only get it from their mother, and they don't like pass it on to their children. If that makes sense. And
they don't pass it on. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the ancestors wouldn't have it.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I'm saying. Like, what type of DNA did they use? Did they use his regular?
Didn't say.
Or did they do mitochondrial linking or something? I'm just curious. Because mitochondrial DNA is like, it's very accurate, but I don't know if it can tell you the exact, like, person, if that makes sense. They can just tell the line.
Yeah, ancient DNA analysis.
It's nice.
Anyway, long story short, they pretty much concluded he's probably an ancestor. That finally silenced all the people trying to say that he had escaped death, but we can assume that from the markings on his grave, the grave itself, and the fact that it was H.H. Holmes on the coffin, and the fact that the DNA extracted from the skull had similar alleles to the Mudgett family, pretty much, without a shadow of a doubt, determines that it was H.H. Holmes, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And that is the end of our H.H. Holmes series. I hope you liked it. Tell us what you think.
Pretty fucked up.
It's a wild, wild ride. Yeah. It was a wild, wild ride.
He's quite next level.
Yeah.
He's quite next level compared to the others, I think.
Chaotic as fuck. Mm-hmm. All over the place. Mm-hmm. Just determined to get away with shit.
And a whole castle? 2 of them?
Yeah.
This guy's next level, I think.
The second one didn't make it to the building stage. It was just planned.
Yeah, he had the intention, though. He was going to do it.
He loved him. He loved his murder castle.
He would have done it if he...
He absolutely would have.
Could have. It would have happened, and he would have had another house built for that purpose.
To kill many, many more.
Wow. So it's like torture chambers inside this torture house.
Yep. Oh, there's plenty, yeah.
Chuck a couple in each room. Like, what the fuck?
I wouldn't be surprised if he tortured them. There was a lot of, like, shifty fucking rooms that...
like, that's what it sounds like.
The 5-door room and the hanging room.
Like, that sounds like something that is designed to fuck with people and extend their death and so he can enjoy it. Yeah, surely.
Yeah, true.
He must have enjoyed it to an extent.
It's hard to make sense of.
No, we don't really know his thinking. Mm-mm. You can't.
No, he's dead.
We can only try.
121 years ago.
Yeah, we can't even interview him.
More
exactly.
Than that. If you could interview H.H. Holmes, what would you say? What would you say?
Like everything, I'd ask him all the questions. Every single question you could possibly think of. I'd probably spend hours talking to him. Mm. All of these serial killers.
He'd probably love it. He'd probably love the attention.
Probably. But I would like, if I had the opportunity to meet a serial killer, any one of them, doesn't really matter which one, and interview them and like ask them questions and they were like happy to answer my questions, yes, I would definitely go and happily chat to a fucking serial killer face to face if it meant that I got to like try and understand them, if that makes sense.
But they would probably lie to your face.
Probably, but then
like that.
But that's just that's part of the whole thing. And then of course if you
you'd
have
come out of that feeling fucking confused.
Yeah, maybe. I wonder.
Yeah.
But
you'd probably come out of it being charmed by them because they're always very charismatic. And being like, oh, he was actually so nice to talk to. Or like, he was very charismatic. Like, it's...
Of course. But of course I would know.
You would know.
That's...
Definitely. You would know.
Total fakeness. But, yeah. It would just be so interesting to, like, see them.
Yeah.
Hear what they have to... Like, what they say or what they sound like. How they talk. How they think.
You can see some interviews online. I saw an interview of...
But like in the 1800s.
Pedophile the other day.
All these ones.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like a Jane Toppin. Like, can you imagine meeting that bitch? I would have loved to have sit down and have a coffee with her.
That would have been a crazy conversation.
So Jane, please tell me.
Tell
Explain.
Me
I want to know because I'm fascinated by your fucking brain because it's crazy.
It is nuts.
Tell me. Because it's interesting because I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And I want to try and get it.
Do you want to try and understand the mind of a serial killer? No.
Well, yes, because that's how we
prevent it, I guess.
Yeah, pick up on them.
True.
And watch out for potential predators.
Yeah, I just...
it's
my
part
point
of
is
just
like,
studying them.
Yeah,
like, that's how I see it.
My point is, like, you wouldn't want to think like a predator because that would make you one.
No, of course not. I would just simply be I'm just fascinated by why does their brain work the way that it does?
Yeah, I get it.
Why do they think this way? How were they raised? Mm-hmm. What happened in their childhood? What happened?
Nature versus nurture.
Yeah, was it fucking one sentence that your father said when you were 6 years old that stayed with you forever and shaped, like, what was it? Do you know what turned you into this absolute psychotic killer that has no empathy, and how do people like that exist? And how are their brains different? you know, like there must be like
Damaged.
physical
Brain damage.
changes or
I think it's brain damage.
abnormalities.
Acquired brain injuries.
But some of them are so smart, man. How can you say that that's a brain injury? Like it would have to be a very
just
specific...
a portion of your brain that is wired into empathy and, you know, things like that. You mean
like growing in the womb there was, or...
Possibly, or childhood trauma, because that creates brain injuries. It does
actually create physical brain damage.
Yeah.
I've often thought about that with myself.
Yeah, in utero and just childhood trauma. Yeah,
right.
But it doesn't always result in the brain damage that makes you a murderer.
No,
you know, because plenty of people have.
How do we get to that
childhood trauma?
Right.
You know, but I feel like the only logical explanation is brain damage. You know. Anyway, that's my theory.
Coping mechanisms.
If you have theories, please put them in the comments in the Instagram or on Spotify, okay? Because we'd love to hear your theories. Or you can email us. You can email us at nurseratchetpodcast@gmail.com.
Georgia is desperate for emails.
I really want an email.
She wants emails.
I do. I just check the email every day. No one has bothered to email me.
Just send her an email.
Since nursing nightmare feels.
She asks every time.
I'm like, come on. I do.
I feel sorry for you. I do. That's why I'm like, send her an email. You ask every time and you never get any. It's sad.
I got some eventually.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to keep being consistent. That's why people do an outro and say the same shit over and over again. That's the point.
You're right.
Yeah. So, yeah. But please do reach out to me. Give me your requests because we don't know what we're doing next, do we?
Well, you had a good couple of suggestions that I might be able to talk about.
Conspiracy theories. I would love.
And the other one
about
that. 1800s.
Yeah, 1800s medical
shit that they used to do.
The 1800s of it all, medical edition.
Love the 1800s.
Oh, that's a good title.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Work.
Exciting.
Anyway, you'll find out next week. So,
yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good week.